Hi there, it's Asia. Do you know that each IELTS speaking test begins with one of just 4 topics? These are work or studies, family, home or hometown. And in this video, we're going to talk about your studies. I will show you sample answers and give you some useful vocabulary to help you improve your answers. There is also a PDF guide where you can find questions and sample answers for the other topics. Okay, let's get started. The first question is always the same. Do you work or study? And your subsequent questions depend on what you answer, and you'll get asked about your work or your studies. So let's imagine I'm still at university. I could say, I'm in the final year of my bachelor's degree and I'm graduating this summer. Don't worry if your first answer is short. It's just to warm up and to tell the examiner what kind of questions they should ask you next. Let's have a look at the vocabulary. At university, we count years. So I can say I'm a first year student, or I'm in the second year of my master's degree. And please note that it's a bachelor's degree. You need this apostrophe and S. You can also call it an undergraduate degree. A master's degree is a postgraduate, or in America, simply a graduate degree. To graduate is to finish university, and you graduate from university. By the way, have you noticed that I said I'm graduating this summer, not I will graduate? That's because it's a pre-arranged plan, and we use the present continuous to talk about arrangements and plans we've already made and not the future simple. The next question is, what do you study? I'm studying for a bachelor's degree in international economics, which at my university includes courses in economics, business, law, international relations, and 2 foreign languages. That's my answer, and yes, that's true. I studied all that for 5 years just for my undergraduate degree. My second language was French, and it's such a pity that I didn't pay any attention to it because now my husband is French and we can only communicate in English. Anyway, please note that you can say that you study for a degree in a certain subject, or you pursue a degree. You can also say that you do a degree, but this phrase is British, not American, and it's more informal. I can say, I did a master's in business management. I'm omitting the word degree. All 3 options are acceptable in your IELTS exam. Here are 2 other ways to say what you study. I have a double major in economics and business. I believe this combination gives me an understanding of how the economy works in general, and also equips me with some practical skills to run a business. Or, I major in accounting. It's quite narrow, but I feel that this degree can give me an advantage when it comes to job hunting. When possible, try to give an extended answer. Here I said what I studied and explained why without being asked to. As for vocabulary, you can have a double major if you specialize in 2 subjects equally. Or you can simply major in a certain subject. I major in accounting. Job hunting is a fun expression meaning that you're looking for a job. But I suppose it's less funny when you are looking for a job. Next, is it a popular subject at your university? Oh yes, I've heard that this is the most sought-after subject in the whole university. Apparently, the competition is even higher than for medicine. Sought after means that a lot of people want it. In our case, a lot of school graduates apply to this program. Let's take a short break and I'll give you a word of warning. You should practice your answers to these questions, but you should not learn them by heart. Keep them natural. Remember that you'll be penalized for memorized answers. And if you want to work on your speaking skills with a teacher, a great place to do that is Cambly, the sponsor of today's video. It's an online learning platform where you can practice your English with native speaking teachers at any time that suits you. You can choose a teacher you like, or book lessons with different teachers to get used to a variety of accents, which is great for your IELTS exam. You can suggest a topic for your lesson, or take their IELTS speaking lessons, or even a mock speaking test. Lessons start from just 15 minutes a day, twice a week, and you can take them at any time of the day or night. At the moment, you can take one 10-minute class for free. And if you like it, subscribe using the link in the description to get an extra discount. You save the most if you take a 12-month plan. And if you change your mind, you can cancel your subscription and get a refund. If you're new to Cambly, you should definitely consider taking your free lesson while it's available. All the links are in the video description box below. And now let's have a look at the next question. Is there anything you don't like about your program? Well, there are some courses that I don't feel I need. At my university, there is no division between compulsory and optional modules. They are all compulsory. And sadly, we have no opportunity to tailor the program to our interests. For example, in the UK, some courses or modules are compulsory, so everyone studies them. And some are optional. Students get a list of optional modules and choose which ones they want to take. To tailor something to your interests means that you change it in a way that suits you. Next. When it comes to your studies, what do you find most challenging? Definitely the exam periods. The problem is that we study between 10 and 12 modules in each semester, which is a lot. What makes it worse is that most of them are assessed based on final exams. This means that every January and June, we take about 10 exams over a period of 3 weeks. The workload is just crazy. Soon, you know everything about my university years. The vocabulary. Your studies are organized into periods, either semesters if you have 2 periods per year, or trimesters or terms if you have 3 periods per year. When you have an exam, you take it. To take an IELTS exam. It seems that some people say to appear or to attempt an exam, but this is not correct. In English, we take exams. You may also say, it's difficult to keep up with the workload because if I relax just a little and don't do my homework for a few days, I immediately fall behind with my studies. To keep up with your workload means to study as much as you need to cover all the material required. And if you fall behind, you don't do everything on time. You may fall behind with your studies or with your credit repayments, but hopefully you won't. The next question is, do you get along with your classmates? Generally, yes. I have 2 close friends with whom I spend a lot of time, and I'm on friendly terms with everyone else. I do my best to avoid conflicts at university. To get along means to have a good relationship with someone. To be on friendly terms means to get along with someone, but perhaps you're not too close. And to do my best or to do your best is to try very hard. Next. If you could study a different course, what would it be? Sometimes I think that I should have applied to study medicine. I wanted to be a doctor, and I had the required grades. But back then I was scared of the long training and low salaries. But now I think that the most important thing is to do what you really like, even if it's not easy. So if I could change my program now, I would study to become a doctor. First of all, let's have a look at the question. If you could change your program, what would it be? Could and would mean that we are talking about a hypothetical situation or a situation that's not real. If I could, I would become a fighter jet pilot, but I can't. And if you wish to change something in the past, you need to use could, would, should, have plus verb plus ed. I could have become a doctor, but I'm not a doctor. Or I should have become a doctor. This means that I regret that I haven't become a doctor. And when you pronounce it, it's easier if you shorten have to have. Could have, should have, instead of could have and should have. Using complex grammar helps you improve your grammar score, but you need to use it correctly to get a really high score. I find that the easiest way to start is to learn several phrases by heart and then change them to fit the situation. I could have become a doctor, or I should have called you earlier. These are the phrases I would just learn by heart. Next. What are you planning to do after you graduate? I'd like to work at a bank, so I'm already applying for some graduate positions in corporate banking, and I hope to secure a place before I graduate. To work at, this is the most common preposition. To work at a company. To work for is also possible, but it sounds like you're not there for long. For example, you have a short-term contract. A graduate position is a job specifically created for university graduates. I personally got into a graduate program at the central bank. To secure a place is to find a job. And now, here are a few questions that we didn't have time to cover today, but you may still wish to prepare your answers to. The first one is, why did you choose to study at your university? Or, why did you choose to study your subject? Is it important to select a career while you're still young? Are there many people with your profession in your city? Okay, and right now you can download the PDF guide with questions, sample answers, and vocabulary for this and other topics. All you need is to click the link on the screen. And if you'd like to practice your speaking with a native speaking teacher, check out Cambly. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!